Hello and welcome to the Learning and Growing podcast with David Royce. My name is David Royce. I'm here at a beautiful studio here in Dubai. And today's guest is Aiga Stuka. Thank you so much for joining the podcast. The first thing that I want to talk about is your journey with cancer.
I always noticed something on my face, but kind of ignored it. But then I was like, no, there is something else. I decided to go to see a dermatologist, and I went to see it. He assigned me to a cosmetic surgeon. And when he looked, he said, potentially skin cancer. And it's just, in my head, everything stopped. I remember the moment that they took the stitches out. So the nurse brought me the mirror and I literally cried because I was just, you can't do anything. And I remember going into pharmacy and I say, do you have a cream or scars? And he's like, what happened? I said I had a skin cancer. And he said, oh, you have something on your eye as well. And it hit me so much. So I was like, thank you. And I walked out and I just cried in a car. And the lesson I learned is really do not judge. You don't know what the person is going through, what has happened in their lives. And a simple thing like this, it triggers, right? So be kind. And through that journey, obviously I couldn't exercise, but I would wake up in the morning, go for a walk, seeing a sunrise. And it was the best thing ever. You appreciate life and appreciate what you have. And that was the biggest lesson I think I learned.
And your story is really valuable because just like you're a normal person living an extraordinary life and you choose to do it on a daily basis. With just your lifestyle, with your exercise, with your resilience, with the people you surround yourself with, you're an inspiration, just a walking inspiration, just being yourself. You allowed me to think about, what can I do a marathon? Can I expand my learning? Can I be more? And can I continue to do that in different areas of life? And I think that's what you've inspired me to think about today. So I want to say thank you so much for that. Aiga's story is riddled with ups and downs, with divorce, with surgery, with cancer. But through it all, every time she goes down, she bounces back up twice as much. And it's an incredible journey. And I'm excited to share it with everybody here. So thank you so much for joining. Tune in and enjoy the story.
Thank you for having me. Really an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Amazing. The first thing that I want to talk about is your journey with cancer. And I would love for you to express where it started, what it was all about, and how it's going at the moment.
Okay, thank you for asking this question. So it's an emotional question, obviously. So it started, I don't know even how it started, yeah. So basically I had something on my face and you all think that it's pimples and, and you ignore it and whatever, and it was there on my here and by my eye as well. So I seen it, but it appeared within the year the last year in my previous company. So I noticed that it was a very stressful time, learn a lot about dealing stress at work and, people. And it taught me great lessons and also how do you stand up for yourself. And I think all this stress related and obviously sun, I think, but I think it's more stress related, to be honest. I always noticed something on my face, but kind of ignored it. But then I was like, no, there is something else. And the last months of my previous job that I was with them, I decided to go to see a dermatologist. And I went to see it. He assigned me to a cosmetic surgeon. And when he looked, he said, potentially skin cancer. And it's just, in my head, everything stopped. I think I was in a shock. I remember I walked out and I burst in tears, but I had to go to work. And I texted my manager. I said, look, this is what has happened. And, I need to go to work, obviously. I think I cried all the way to work. But I'm people facing, obviously. So I need to make sure that I look fine, But then again, it's like potentially. So it doesn't mean I have it, And I didn't know this journey, what's happened or what it is. So he said I need to go for need to do the biopsy. So I subscribed for a race to do 10K. And obviously I couldn't do it because they had to call me in to take the biopsy. And I didn't know what it's all about. So obviously took it out. I have plasters on my face. And I thought to myself, okay, it's done. I'm good. And then I had mole, which was like changing color just on my tummy. And I thought, let me share with him. She said, okay, we will do that next time. And I said, okay, when your results will be in. And I'm like, results? I thought it's all done, And then I went back. They took a biopsy from my tummy and the results were positive. So he said, we need to do a surgery. That was another shock. I don't even remember what cancer I had because my mind was blank, right? Because to hear you have a cancer, it's not easy because there's different emotions go through. Then you suddenly start to think, what do you want to do in your life? What else is on your list? And then obviously I went in, they did the surgery. And the hardest thing is that it's on our face. And I was changing jobs and I had to meet my manager, the new manager, just 2 days after I came out. And he didn't know that happened to me. And I'm obviously worried because I'm starting a new job. My face looked like a shipwreck, black eye, swollen lip, all, stitches. And it's on the face. And also you think, how do I going to look like, and obviously I'm working in luxury business. Anyway, so I remember the moment that they took the stitches out. So the nurse brought me the mirror and I literally cried because I was just, you can't do anything. And then they say, there is creams. And I remember going into pharmacy and I say, do you have a cream, for scars? And he's like, what happened? I said, I was very emotional that day. I said, I had a skin cancer. And he said, oh, you have something on your eye as well. And it hit me so much. So I was like, thank you. And I walked out and I just cried in a car. And the lesson I learned is really do not judge. You don't know what the person is going through, what has happened in their lives. And it's simple thing like this, it triggers, right? So be kind. And through that journey, obviously I couldn't exercise, but I would wake up in the morning, go for a walk, seeing a sunrise. And it was the best thing ever. You appreciate life and appreciate what you have. And that was the biggest lesson I think I learned.
And which year was this?
So the surgery happened in 2023 in December. So 2024 January, I was still recovering. So it's
and is the cancer gone?
So they had to ring me as well and tell me the news. So I didn't think, because I thought, okay, surgery done, all done, but it wasn't. So the journey was still to wait for the results. So they came and they called me and said 99.9% is all clear. So yeah.
Amazing. I'm very happy to hear that.
Thank you.
And my last question would be, what are you looking forward to in the coming year with your personal fitness, with life in general?
For me, few things are important, obviously, is my health. Because without health, what I learn, I'm nobody. Obviously, continue to surrounding myself with people who inspire and uplift me every single day. And Mark is being one of them. And my friends like Philippe and Monica, they run a coaching business and I'm coaching with Philippe. The skills he has given me for coaching, it's invaluable. It's something that I have for the rest of my life. So basically finishing my PCC level, with his mentorship and coaching as well. So that's my thing. So I want to do T100 again in Dubai, and maybe a race before and after that. Something that I'm going to explore now is I booked a trip. My dream trip is to Kathmandu, to Nepal. And I want to see at least a glimpse of Everest, and I want to go to this hiking trip and see how it is. And then who knows? So yeah, so grow in terms of learning, always growing growing and learning, basically. And
like the name of the podcast, which is Learning and Growing with David Royce.
Yeah, exactly that. And that's my objective. Always keep learning in life and in sport, and taking that advice that it suits you. There's lots of people who will tell you different things, but then you need to think, is this advice or this feedback serves me? Because people like to put you down, and people are not kind. But as long as I am kind in me and spread the kindness around people, and surround myself with people who are kind and they cheer you up every day, and they're happy for your success. That's the most important. And enjoy every moment of your life, because it can be taken away.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Aiga. I really appreciate your time. And your story is really valuable because just like you're a normal person living an extraordinary life, and you choose to do it on a daily basis. And with just your lifestyle, with your exercise, with your resilience, with the people you surround yourself with, you're an inspiration, just a walking inspiration, just being yourself.
You.
And there's a lot to, you allowed me to think about, what can I do a marathon? Can I consider taking a certification in coaching? Can I expand my learning? Can I be more? And can I continue to do that in different areas of life? And I think that's what you've inspired me to think about today. So I want to say thank you so much for that.
Thank you for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Amazing. And I would definitely like to have Mark as a next guest and talk about his experiences, because he has another incredible story.
Yes,
and definitely through this message, I hope everyone gets inspired, encouraged to push themselves in terms of their physical fitness, because life will keep throwing challenges at you.
Absolutely.
Right?
And, like going even through personal journey like divorce, it's not easy, and you learn a lot. You and I had a great friend, Helen. She gone through something, and she was encouraging me. So, and also the other lesson is, yes, family is great, and friends, but somebody who listens to you without judgment, without saying you need to do this, or no, but it's not, it's wrong, but somebody who listens like a coach. And she had these skills, and it really helped me, so to talking to somebody who is maybe not close to you really helps to go through challenging times, because this person can also, I'm talking about coaching, can help you to move forward. And that's what coaching is, to help you to move forward from where you are, where you want to be, and give you the invisible insights that you can't see yourself. And that really helps. And she really helped me to talk these things out. And because she gone through something similar, and it was like a rock, you need to find these people who really inspire you, because friends, family, they always want things that is good for them, and they think it's safer for you. When I told my parents, my husband divorced me day before my birthday through a WhatsApp message, I was shattered. And then to tell my parents, it felt like an embarrassment, like I'm so low, and for them, come home first thing. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to come home, because I'm quite stubborn as well. So I'm gonna make right, maybe it's not gonna be right, and sometimes when we live in this bubble that life should be like this, you should get married, you should have a house, you should have a kids, but if you are not that person, everybody looks different, I don't care how people look at me, I live my life, and I learned so much through my life. Yes, I don't have maybe that you know, how the society thinks that you should have kids, you have a house, you have a car. But I enjoy my life. I live my life and I want to do things that makes me happy. And that's the message I want to live with everybody. You know, think about, are you really happy? And what makes you happy? And to do those things. Because we live once.
Really prioritize things that make you happy. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We forget that along the way.
Yeah, we do. We you know what, we forget about ourselves, and that was biggest lesson when I learned from my divorce. I completely forgot what I want to eat for dinner because it was always about the other person. Oh, what mood is this other person? And you kind of are this submissive, you know, role, like, okay, everything for this person. But yes, you know, you laugh and you know, there is good times, but there's not so good times. And you're like, but what I really truly want to do, I never thought of it, you know. There's things that we, you know, afraid of losing, you know, the attachment, of course, the love. And when somebody kind of forcefully says, okay, we are divorced, you know, like everything shuts down. You're like, and it took me a year to get over it, you know. And it's a journey, but now I know, and I can help people with the resilience. How do you bounce back, you know? Sport is a huge role in my life, because without sport, I probably wouldn't be here where I am, you know? It really has helped me so much. And that's why sport plays, and movement in itself plays such a big role in my personal life.
Amazing. I'm really appreciative of this story. And once again, thank you so much for joining the Learning and Growing podcast. And I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you, David. You've been an amazing host.
Thank you. Thank you so much.